Welcome to the spoiler edition.
Part 2, just like the movie.
Right.
Okay, you want to start?
Okay, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Well, the story is that it takes place about 4 months after the end of the first part. And during this time, it's funny because the first part of the movie, it feels like there's 2 different movies going on. There's one revolving around Batman and the Joker, who has come out of his comatose state because finally he has a reason to live, and that's to kill Batman.
Was he really comatose?
Yeah, he was. Because Batman disappeared for a long time, so he really had no reason to live. So he just kind of turned to a vegetable. Then at the end of part 1, you see Batman's back, and that's when you see that smile come on his face. So, hey, I'm back in business. So that's what happens. And then another one where you really get into like a Cold War USA versus Soviet Union kind of war over this island where Superman is involved. Right smack in the middle of it.
And just to make everybody aware, they don't really give you an exact time, but you see Ronald Reagan, so you should...
Ronald Reagan's the president, so you have a good idea, right?
Yeah, you kind of know.
Right. Okay, so Batman, meanwhile, is doing his thing. He's cleaning up the streets of Gotham. When you first see him, he's actually in disguise as an old lady, as a crazy old lady, and he stops these three like neo-Nazi.
I'm pretty sure they were Nazis.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. Well, the leader is Bruno, who's this big, like 6'4" Amazon muscular woman.
I was like 6'4".
Or 6'2", but
6'2".
very tall looking, you know.
And she's like masculine woman, and she doesn't wear a shirt.
She's topless, and over her boobs are 2 swastikas.
So,
wow.
Okay.
And the funny thing too is that, well, of course Bruce is back, and of course we have Robin, the girl from the first
Stephanie
one.
Brown. Oh wait, no,
not Stephanie Brown. Yeah, I forgot her name.
That should be her name.
Yeah.
But...
it's funny because she got like get fired like twice during the film. Oh
no, she doesn't get fired. She gets threatened.
Yeah. If you deviate from my instruction, you're fired. And yeah, she doesn't have it because she keeps saving his life. Well, Superman is called in by Ronald Reagan to go talk to Batman, because I guess 10 years ago the superheroes made a deal with the United States government to, I guess, kind of stop being... That's basically what the whole thing is. Like, for this 10 years, the world only has one superhero, and that's Superman.
Yeah, so...
The thing about this film I want to start before I continue is that this is really the first time that you can really see Superman as, quote-unquote, the villain. And he's the villain... He's kind of portrayed as like a sellout, or a corporate sellout. Like, he kind of now bends to the will of the United States government. And he made this deal, and everyone has kind of left. Diana's gone back to her island. Everyone's quit. Bruce retired, but now Bruce has come back, and so Ronald Reagan sent Superman over there to try to talk him out of it, or try to get him back, or try to talk him back into retirement.
Yeah, okay, bear in mind, guys, Superman's not a bad guy.
He's not a bad guy, but he is in the wrong.
But yeah, he's in the wrong because he's working for the government.
The thing about it, though, Will, is I really found myself kind of against Superman in this film, because I kept trying to see it from his point of view, but I really couldn't. Because he's kind of become like a pawn of the United States government.
Oh yeah, I tried to as well, but even I couldn't, because... Well, that's just me, because I saw what he does.
There was when the war breaks out and the U.S. are fighting the Soviets.
But the thing is,
he's fighting for the USA, though.
Yeah, but the problem is, even he knows the bad side of what he's doing.
Yeah, he does it anyway.
Yeah, even he knows that what he's doing is not the best.
Sometimes that makes it even worse.
Yeah, but he acknowledges that he acknowledges it, that he doesn't outright tell him that, well, I agree with you and you should be doing this thing because I'm forced to do it. You can tell because of who he is that he really hates what he has to do.
Yeah, he's out there murdering riskies and
but he acknowledges that this is not his world, and this is their world. The politicians, the governments, they've made it what they are, and we have to abide by their rules.
Yeah,
or at least he does, because he's...
You can tell he's in a tough spot.
He really is kind of the outsider looking in, where like he is the alien, so everybody could turn on him.
He's become like the tool of the status quo, and Batman is rocking the boat, so that immediately puts them into conflict.
And so, of course, Superman doesn't want to. But okay, meanwhile,
Now, where things get real is when the Joker manipulates his psychiatrist to allow him to come onto his talk show.
Oh yeah, because what's happening is since Batman has made this return, and unfortunately has kind of started making his own army. He hasn't made an army, but like all the people, all the bad guys that were serving under the
mutants,
the mutants from the first film.
They're not the sons of Batman.
They claim that they're the sons of Batman and that they're doing Batman's will.
Yeah,
And they're these politicians within like the media that are going back and forth. Like, well, Batman's doing the right thing. No, he's not. He's causing trouble, and he's making more ruckus happen.
You can't blame Batman for the action of these vigilantes. It's not his fault.
Yes, you can, because he's making all of these other villains and mutants come up and represent him and do bad things.
Exactly. There's people who...
Yeah,
it's back and forth.
It's a back and forth thing, and in fact, the media is kind of getting really popular because of it.
Right.
And the Joker's psychiatrist... What, is he psychiatrist?
Yeah, psychiatrist, right.
He's talking to the Joker, like, he's claiming, like, well... It would be nice if you could be heard, and so then they can hear your intake. And oh no, it's the other way around.
Yeah,
Joker's the one. He's just like.
I wish I could tell my side of the story. And,
Yeah, and the sympathetic psychiatrist is like, don't say that, man. You're a good person. You can, like.
I can arrange for you.
I can arrange for you. I'll get people on the phone, and we can get you heard because we know that you're not the same anymore.
Right.
And we can get you back out there, and you can tell the people what your idea. You are worth something. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
So he plays it like a fiddle, gets onto this talk show, and now he employs the help of who I think is the Toy Man.
I thought it was the Toy Man.
I believe it is. I believe it is Toy Man. At first, I thought it was ventriloquist, but I don't think it is because
ventriloquist wasn't
right.
It probably was.
Yeah. Well, Toy Store was. It was Toy Man.
Yeah, I thought it was Toy Man.
He built these like two dolls that could like fly and have artificial intelligence, and they bust into this.
Yeah, ventriloquist wasn't technical toy.
Right. Exactly. So you're right.
He had a puppet. That's all he had.
It was probably Toy Man.
And Toyman had history of like several versions of him being like this really overweight slob.
Meanwhile, James Gordon has retired, and now this other woman has now taken over, and her first rule is to take down the Batman.
Because why not?
Because he's a vigilante, and right, she has to make a big name for herself. Mm-hmm. So Joker goes on to the talk show, and meanwhile, on top of the roof, Batman and Robin head there. Batman starts trying to get the Joker. He gets into a fight with the police on the rooftop. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, inside, Joker says he's going to kill everyone in the
Well, if we're
because there's a studio audience there.
if we're going to tell the Joker scene, we might as well tell the whole thing.
Go right ahead.
Starts. Like before the stage show goes on, he talks to Toyman, who sets him up with some like a little doohickeys that allow him to breathe in certain situations.
Right.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Right.
And he also has some lipstick for him that has a manipulative power, like some sort. It's like a technical lipstick. I don't know. It's kind of one of the bullshit things about the movie that I didn't care for. But what happens is they get into the media, the host. It's kind of like oh, what is that guy's name?
Like Conan O'Brien.
Yes, like it's just like Conan. Mm-hmm. In fact, it would have been funny if it was him. It would have shown he had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But he's basically, let's just say he's on the Conan show.
Right.
And he's a little uncomfortable about the idea because the Joker says things that he's just like.
Well, Joker's sitting there. It's him and a psychiatrist, and the talk show host tries to say some things to try and antagonize the Joker. And the psychiatrist immediately is like sticking up with the Joker. Don't say that about him.
Yeah, don't say that about my
patient. He's a victim of the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman's actions, as in being what he does, has put him into a psychotic stasis of momentarily confusion. And,
right, exactly. Stuff like that.
That same bullshit.
Yeah. So then Joker says, I'm going to kill everyone in here. And the audience is like, and then the psychiatrist goes, oh, he's just kidding. He doesn't mean that. He's just joking.
He's just trying to ease the tension with everybody in the room.
Now Joker reaches up and grabs a coffee cup. And he takes a sip. And he asks, can I keep this cup? And
the Conan's just like,
Oh, sure.
All right. Sure.
We have a closet
we have a closet full of them.
Thank you. Yeah, well, thank you. Then the Joker smashes the cup on the side of the desk, so it's all jagged, grabs the psychiatrist, and slits his throat.
Bam!
Blood slides all over that. And it was such a gruesome scene. We had to rewind and see it twice because that was so awesome.
Like, do you remember Under the Red Hood when he basically did the same thing? Mm-hmm. Nothing compared to this one. That blew that away. In fact, it blew that away. It blew Heath Ledger's performance with the eye thing away.
Well, as long as you don't need it. It's
like he bangs him in the neck, kills the psychiatrist, blood splatters everywhere, everybody freaks out. He looks at, I'll say Conan. He looks at Conan in the thing and he's just like, well, as long as you won't miss it.
And then that's when the two dolls breaking through the glass, spraying everyone with the Joker toxin.
Joker toxin.
With the Joker toxin. Everyone dies laughing with the smiles on the face, and the Joker walks right out. Next, then we see Selena Kyle, who is older and she's the head of this escort service.
I guess you could say that's another way of saying that she's the head woman in a brothel.
Basically, yeah. He uses his lipstick that's mind control. Just go with it.
Yeah, these were the two things that kind of took me out of the film that annoyed me, was the mind control lipstick and the two damn dolls.
Those are the part of the comic book side that you just kind of have to,
it's kind of like you're taking this so seriously, but then you're bringing it back to showing how cartoony it is.
Well,
and stop doing that.
It's kind of a mixture. Joker, like I say, it's a real. That's the great thing about comic book. It's a mixture between the reality and the fantastical.
Well, because what's amazing is, I know I'm jumping the gun and I'm jumping ahead here, but there's this part way later in the film where the Joker goes on this literal killing rampage.
We'll get there in just a little bit.
And he goes on his rampage, but then at the same time you've got these two dolls that look cartoony and are flying around doing other stuff, and I'm just like, oh, damn, you were so close.
I didn't have a problem with it though. I really didn't.
It's not that bad, but when you notice it, and other people are going to see that and just like, oh, that's kind of silly.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, she brainwashes Selena to have this other escort put with lipstick on, use it to mind control a congressman who goes up to the top of the building and falls off. Basically, the whole thing is a setup to the fact that the Joker has taken over this amusement park, where and basically has forced the Batman to go get him. Now, I will say this now.
Selena in a Wonder Woman suit.
Oh yeah. When Batman goes there, Selena's in a Wonder Woman suit, and they kiss, and they embrace, and they say they're still in love. It's so nice. And there was also a very nice scene where they were trying to get away, and Robin kind of slipped and fall, but she grabbed his cape and kind of pulled him up, and they kind of embraced, showing that Batman really does have a heart. He's not like a Kratos or anything like that. He's a real
good soldier.
Yeah. Now, up next is the amusement park scene. And I'll be honest with you, this is probably one of the most probably the most intense and gruesome scenes I've ever seen in a comic book movie. Where
what about in films?
Well, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Films taken seriously.
I can't think of anything more intense than that.
Yeah, because you can see people like in a Godzilla film getting killed all the time. But it's different.
No, not like this, because you see the Joker just go on this murderous, insane rampage, just running around, laughing, shooting people left and right, and you even looked at me and said, "This is getting very uncomfortable to watch." And I want to know, what were you feeling when you were watching all this mayhem?
Because you're seeing the people.
Right.
Because this is, I think what's really most uncomfortable about this thing is that this is not impossible to believe.
Right.
This happens.
This is not your Saturday morning cartoon or anything like that where no one gets hurt. This cards on the table. Joker's a complete psychotic maniac. We're going to just let him loose on all of these innocent people and just watch what happens.
Because I'll get back to him in the comic book in a second, but seeing this happens. Mm-hmm. This happens in the real world. We've got psychos that'll go into children's schools, blowing them away and doing the same thing. And you're basically getting to see that firsthand in a film.
Yeah,
in an animated film, and it's taken so seriously. You get to see every individual. Like, it's not like he's just shooting like ducks in a row or anything. You see these people he's killing. Like, these people, like, they're having fun at an amusement park. They're with their children. They're with their girlfriends, their fiancés, their wives, their husbands, their families. And, like, they're having fun at this amusement park. And even, what's her name? She's like, my friends are at that amusement park.
Right.
And, yeah, they're just there having a good time. And then you'll see this madman with a gun just come out and, like, he'll push aside this couple. He'll pop the man in the head with the gun, and either he'll let the girl go and he'll just push her out of the way.
Probably the toughest part was when
or he'll turn back and pop her in the head too, and you see their reactions. You're seeing people go down.
I think the toughest part is when he went through the love tunnel.
The tunnel of love.
Tunnel of love.
He was doing it there. Oh my God!
He's just laughing and just just smack. And he's doing this while he fought Batman earlier. Batman actually put 3 batarangs into him. 2 into his shoulder and 1 into his eye.
Yeah, because what had happened was, as soon as before the rampage started, the Joker saw Batman coming. Batman came down. The Joker pulled a hostage, had a gun to him, and he was just like, what are you gonna do, Batman? You're gonna do the same bullshit you've been doing to me for 50 years,
right?
And
taunting him about the fact that Batman always never killed him. Batman always just arrested him.
Yeah, he took 3 batarang shurikens, like flung him at his face, hit him in the shoulder, hit him in the neck, or hit him right here in the chest area, hit him in the eye, and he dropped the hostage, and he actually said, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah. Then they go into like this hall of mirrors.
Which is the biggest hall of mirrors I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like something out of Enter the Dragon.
I know. I was just like, okay, no fair I ever went to had this many hall of mirrors.
Joker gets a gun. He's able to pop Batman in the side. They continue. That's when he gets away and goes through the tunnel of love sequence. Which
what happens is, like, he shoots Batman in the side, knocks some mirrors on him, so Batman's kind of out and regaining his footing. He goes out, a cop pulls him over, and he's just like, "Oh, you got me." And then when he's turned around, he brings a knife out of his wrist, and you don't see what happens.
You hear the screams.
You hear the scream, but you don't see what he does, so you can kind of make...
Right, he had Batman down in the hall of mirrors, but he ran out of bullets.
Yeah, so
that's why
he stocks bullets from the cop he killed, and then he starts going on a rampage again, shooting more people as he's running by, and people are running away from him. They're trying to get away from this guy, and he's shooting them down.
This is even different from Heath Ledger, because even when Heath Ledger did it, even though he
had a plan.
He was still, there was like still a sense of comedic or comic book kind of sensibility to it. This was just watching this guy just killing people.
He didn't care anymore.
Just going nuts. Which finally led to the one-on-one showdown between Batman. And you even said you wanted Batman to kill the Joker. Because at that moment, you really hated the Joker.
Yeah, because I was done. The Joker had pissed me the hell off he wasn't playing anymore.
Yeah.
So he probably knew that this was the end.
Batman's also said his line that said, "All the people that I murdered
letting you
live." By letting you live.
And the Joker is just like, he's like, I never kept count. And Batman's just like, I have. And he's just like, oh, I know you did. And that's why I love you.
Yeah, it's just taunting him the whole way.
Right there, it's like, Batman's got him, like right here, like on the neck. And the Joker's got his knife, and he just jams him 3 times with the knife. Yeah. And that was tough to watch, too, because can you feel it? Could you imagine the impact behind that?
This is definitely like nothing you've ever seen in a Batman film. Were you even expecting this when you?
No, I was not. Like, I was expecting it to be probably a little more serious because I've seen some serious comic book movies, but not to that degree. Like, whoa.
I think Batman breaks the Joker's neck somewhat. Then the Joker breaks the rest of his neck. I'm
not sure what the heck happened, honestly.
Well, now it looks like the Joker... Now it looks like the Batman... Well, actually, Joker dies. The police think Batman killed the Joker, so then the Batman... So now they start chasing the Batman full force. Batman,
but the Joker's body gets set on fire. I don't know if Batman did it or if the Joker rigged himself to...
I think Joker rigged himself. Yeah.
Probably.
Right.
Um,
You know, you're in trouble now. You know, because he wants now all the people to come after Batman.
yeah, so Joker's dead. Batman has got, like, more holes in him than cheese.
He's able to escape. Now we jump back to the war over this island, and the Russians have fired a missile, and Superman, using his power, is able to guide the missile up, and it explodes in the atmosphere, but it creates like God, I'm forgetting the
nuclear wave.
no, it's
Sonic
a pulse, something electronic pulse that turns off all the power, I guess, across America. And the blast actually injures Superman very badly. And during this whole thing, like basically the entire United States just goes into riots. And that's when you see Batman pull himself out of his bed. You see the iconic scene from the comic book where he's riding a horse. He gets on because all the machines and stuff are off, and he goes to the gang, the Sons of Batman.
That was right. He was riding a horse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I kind of thought for a second, why is there?
Yeah, well, the electrons are out. Yeah. They're like, we're going to go in there. This is our chance. We're gonna kill everyone in our way. Then Batman takes over and says, no, tonight. You're gonna be a law. You're gonna follow me. You're gonna do what I do. We're not gonna use these. These are
better
clumsy.
explanation. Like over the pit, like
Yeah.
where all of the mutants are, the Sons of Batman, like
Right.
where they're claiming, like, okay, this is it. Like all the lights are off. Everything in Gotham's messed up. We're taking control of the city, and we're gonna kill anybody who gets in our way. Then Batman and Robin show up horseback, and then they take control, saying, no. If you all are loyal to me as you say you are, you'll do what I say.
Yeah.
You are not. We are going to take control of the city. We are going to become the law. I am going to become the law, but we are not going to use guns.
Right. We're going to use our fists and we're going to use our brains. And so they go in there and they stop the... Well, the funny thing too, the commissioner and the police, they've completely... They kind of look like they've given up. All the mutants, all the criminals have escaped from the prisons. They're now going through the streets. You have looters, and then there's this real funny scene. Well, I thought it was really funny because the looters are on one side of the street, then here come the criminals on the other side of the street. They kind of stop to kind of look at each other, and you see like the looters reaching for weapons, and out of nowhere, this one guy like picked up an axe. And I saw that, I was like, oh shit!
Whoa, shit!
I was like, oh shit! And I was like, where was he shopping? And he just said,
It's like, man, maybe we shouldn't have stepped in front of the guys who came out of the orchard. So.
at Home Depot or something. Like, damn, these guys had axes. They're just like, oh shit. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, all of a sudden, this guy, this looter, like from his shopping cart, takes out an axe. I'm like, oh wow, that's a big ass axe too.
Like Orchard Supply.
Yeah.
I should have thought this one through.
So they start rioting, but then Batman and his crew was able to jump in there and stop it.
Yeah, they take control. They tie up the people who aren't going to cooperate,
Right.
and Batman goes on to this like speech in front of the burning city.
And it was cool because it was like Batman becoming like a leader. Like, I'm going to lead these people, and I'm going to, I'm going to take control and take command and keep this city from imploding itself.
Yep.
And it was funny because then the next scene they have all these like news broadcasts. That's another thing about the Frank Miller stories, that the Batman Dark Knight Returns. There's always like they're like cut between these sections like newscasts, and they like say like the entire city, all the cities in the United States are rioting, except for one, which is Gotham City. And then I just remembered a scene a moment ago that before that happened, as the nuclear bomb's going, you hear a speech from the President of the United States.
That was hilarious.
from a undisclosed location, while he's wearing a radiation suit.
It's like, well, we beat the Russians, but unfortunately, all I can say is that they sore losers, so they're sending a giant bomb over the entire area. I'm safe. Can't speak for y'all. Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
However, I'm safe in my bunker. I got plenty of food and entertainment to last me a lifetime. However, all you guys, just good luck. And what'll pull us through these hard times is sharing, showing compassion for your fellow man.
I thought that because it's so true.
It's like, I'm safe, can't speak for y'all.
Well, with Batman actually keeping the city under control, finally that's like, the whole thing is like, it's an embarrassment to the administration. Because he's like thumbing his nose at the administration. That's when you find...
Yeah, because like he's doing what every politician, every governmental standpoint in the fucking U.S. The White House can't do.
And so that's when they send in Superman. So they send in Superman to finally stop Batman. They send the army in there to stop him. Batman puts on the suit, this superpowered suit, and that's when they have the fight. What do you think of the final sequence between Batman and Superman?
I thought it went how I thought it was going to do, because Batman knows Superman, so of course he was going to have something planned.
Also, they brought in Oliver Queen.
That was surprising. I also didn't see Oliver Queen coming.
I mean, it's kind of a message there where you have like the two most popular human heroes, non-superpowered heroes, kind of facing off against Superman.
Where's the Flash during this?
I don't know, but... Oh, we did see a comic book of the Flash.
Yeah, we saw a comic book of the Flash. I'm like, where is the Flash? Yeah, Hal Jordan left the planet.
Yeah.
Weird. Martian Manhunter, God knows where. Wonder Woman went back to her island.
Well, anyway, they have the final battle. Arrow's able to hit Superman with a kryptonite arrow to weaken him. During this time, before the fight, I believe Batman took a pill or something to speed up his heart and eventually like simulate death. So that's what happens at the end. It looks like Bruce Wayne dies. They find out Bruce Wayne was the Batman. They hold the funeral.
Yeah, the Wayne Manor's destroyed. Alfred
Alfred
passes away.
Yeah, I think he suffered a stroke, I think.
He probably did.
Stroke or heart attack.
Because I don't think Bruce told him.
No, I think that's just unfortunately what happened.
Yeah, I don't think Bruce told him that he was going to fake death. He just let him go and believe that he really was. Because I think what had happened was... unfortunately, what Bruce probably didn't see coming was that Alfred was going to die. I think what Bruce wanted to happen was he was tired of Alfred doing what he had been doing, worrying about him all these years. He wanted what little time left he had to be able to live on his own and not have to worry. So by destroying Wayne Manor and just looking back in the memories and not having to worry about Bruce because he thought he was going to be dead, that would have been enough to have Alfred go. Unfortunately, Bruce probably didn't foresee that all of this stress was going to kill him right after.
Right. Well, in the end, it's found... Well, Superman finds out, too, when he hears the heartbeat, that Bruce faked his own death. He's now gone underground, and all the sons of Batman, that gang, they now go down there to become like his students or his army.
Basically, he's making his own League of Shadows.
Right, exactly. That's very good, well said. He's basically got a new League of Shadow underground, and basically he said that, Superman now gets the point. As long as they stay quiet, Superman will leave them alone. So Gotham will stay...
So that's why he wants to teach them everything.
Right, exactly. And that ends the movie. So, final words on Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Would you recommend it?
Oh, I would recommend it because one thing that's interesting to point out is he becomes the teacher. And what I mean by he becomes the teacher is his teacher was Ra's al Ghul.
Yes.
And he became like his teacher because now he owns the League of Shadows,
right,
which he is now created.
But under a different principle.
Oh, way under a different principle.
Right.
But yeah, so it's really interesting when you
so, like I
break it
said, it's a very dark film. But if you're a comic book fan, you're a Batman fan, I think they did a great job staying true to the source material.
Yeah, I'm surprised they got a PG-13 rating.
Just enough to say PG-13, yeah. But
I wouldn't show this to your kids. Like,
hell.
It's a great Batman movie, but
right,
it's too serious.
Way too serious.
Like, it's too serious for your kids.
Well, imagine this was the story that turned Batman, from the campy kind of guy into this character we see now today. It would be interesting to read that story back in 1984 and just read this. And you're like, oh my god, what the hell is this?
Well, yeah,
it's a brilliant story.
Well, yeah, because back then we still hadn't had the animated series yet. So
right. Or even the Tim Burton movie.
Yeah,
right.
The Tim Burton came out in '89.
Right.
So yeah, you really only had Adam West to go on.
Right.
Not the best interpretation, but it was what it was.
So anyway, Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2, both brilliant films.
It's crazy to say not to show this to your children because I know we complain a lot about how kids are too pillowed by soft things and how they take away. So it's really questionable whether I might want to take that back on saying don't show this to your kids. I think you want to gauge.
I will say this.
Gauge your
Watch it
child.
yourself, then make the decision.
Probably.
Watch it yourself, then make the decision.
Because kids are smarter than we give them credit for. So
I don't know, but the Joker rampage maybe a little too much for them.
maybe.
It was a little too much for us.
Yeah, so
Like,
definitely,
oh my God.
if anything, the first one should be fine
Yeah.
to show them.
Yeah. But the second one, that's where the stuff really goes down. So yeah, watch it yourself, make your own decision, and then see whether or not you want to show it to your kids.
Anyway, great movie, great series. Check it out. If you really want to be faithful, go and read the original novel, or you can read the comic book version. It's there too.
Right.
This is the Brotherhood of Gaming Movie Reviews. William Morris, Eugene Morris, us doing what we do, and we love doing it. Sorry we couldn't get to the comic books. We just thought we'd show you those. And we'll see you next time. Tell us what you want us to review. We need movies.